Ben, intro. 3, 2, 1, action.
It doesn't work like that. You can't just... This isn't... You're not the director of this film.
I thought you were the talent.
I am the talent.
The talent should be able to perform on demand.
The talent performs when he's ready to perform.
Oh, yeah.
That's the perk of being the talent.
Welcome back, guys. We are out here for another race.
Sometimes
here
I
in Newcastle.
doubt if I'm the best chain guy on in the pits and stuff, and then I do stuff like this, and I just amaze myself, you know? Like, I think that, and then after I do that, it's like, I realize the gap's only getting bigger, right, with time. Like, the gap between me and the next guy only getting bigger.
Okay, well, Ben's feeling pretty froggy today.
He's
so,
a weatherman and a chain
yeah,
guy.
weatherman and a chain guy. So, just so you guys know, Ben proclaimed to be a weatherman, the Midwest's best, yesterday.
No. He's thrown this all out for. I said, there's in a different world, I could have gone on to have been the Midwest premier weather person, meteorologist. That's what I said.
Midwest best is what you dubbed it.
And I did not pursue that, and I have to rely on, I won't say the name of the application, but a very rinky, known to be wrong thing, and I have to do the best I can. A lot of that is conjecture and just knowledge I've got. And yeah, if I'd spend all that time going to weather school and whatever, I'd probably know with certainty even using that. But I'm just relying on my sources here. So yeah, we come out to a heavy dew this morning. I can't predict that stuff. And then this afternoon at 1 or 2, allegedly, it looks like it may rain. I haven't even gotten to look today to see, to really pay attention to it, but everybody's like, oh, Ben's so wrong. I'm like, guys, I've been right on the money. All my predictions, right on the freaking money.
Right.
It's freaking
just a
dry.
heavy dew this morning, not a downpour. So, yeah, we're out here for what I think is KRA 10. So getting towards the tail end of the season because we've got 14 races. So Ben's racing, Dad's racing. He's actually going up for qualifying. We've got a pre-final and a final format today. So like I said, getting ready to start with qualifying and let you guys know how that goes. Woo! What a fantastic morning here. Rained a little bit last night, but the track is drying, the sun is out, a gentle breeze. These days don't get any better. And we are here at the beautiful morning of go-kart tracks, Newcastle Motorsports Park.
The morning walk with Dad.
And we're just going to revel in this one today. You know, it's kind of a recurring theme for me. And you may just think I'm out of creativity when it comes to these morning walks, but the truth is I don't remember what I talked about last week, and so the same thing keeps popping into my mind. But time is this train you cannot stop. And as much as I've complained about it, that doesn't work. So I'm just gonna kind of go with the flow, and had one of those things this couple weeks ago. My Nissan Armada, the greatest truck ever built. Bought it with 57,000 miles. It's got 296 right now. It's taken us through all 48 lower states and most of Canada to camp. My mechanic said the words you hate to hear: she's about done. And that hit me hard. So went out and I've got a replacement truck, but we cannot leave her 4,000 miles short of 300,000. So I'm keeping her, and we're driving her, and we're gonna get her there. And on the other end of the spectrum, as you've seen, I've got one spectacular grandson, and on the vlog you've seen him grow up. And this week I was blessed with grandson number 2. Bowden Stafford came, and he is just wondrous. He's beautiful, and we're grateful, and we're blessed. You know, so we're just reveling in it. It's going by fast, but every morning, every moment, we're trying to make the best out of it. Dad, how did qualifying go? Right where I usually land, 16th. But only 20 carts, so it was not good. Not good. But you guys know Dad. If you've watched this vlog, when he gets into a race, I told him this yesterday, he finds like a second from his best time of the weekend. And I guess my goal is to get him to shift into that gear a lot earlier, at least for qualifying, because come race time, the dude, he had a 104.1 or 104.2 is what he qualified at. And mark my words, come race time, it'll be at least a second faster, unless it rains, which we'll have to get an updated forecast from the weatherman when he comes back. But yeah, this he's gonna have the speed in the race, just needs to tap into it earlier. What do you think about that, Dad? Well, I'm glad you're confident. I don't know where that second's coming from. If I thought I had it, I'd have taken it out there on qualifying. It's history for you. You do it every time. Qualifying is over, and got pole. Super excited about it. The slight downside is there's a pre-final, and so there's still time to really mess up. Was essentially qualifying round 2, but yeah, got pole by 6/1000th of a second over Matthew there. That's if it stays dry. Like, hey, weatherman, what's the forecast?
It's gonna get rain, but probably not soccer pre-final.
Okay, so our very trusty weatherman says pre-final should be dry. So
understatement. Very trusty is an understatement.
Midwest best. Yes. So if it's dry in the finals, it's going to be like a big pack because everyone's so close on this track. There's not a whole lot to it, pretty simple. So I'm hoping everyone's a little, you know, willing to play the pre-final somewhat smart, because you don't get anything for winning the pre-final. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, guys, so qualification just in for CIK. Went out there behind Clay. He bailed second lap, so I tried to bail second lap. Filled in behind a couple guys who wound up battling the entire time, so caught the short end of the stick there. Tried to give them, you know, 6 or so lengths, but I should have given them like 20, as much as they were fighting through every turn. Honestly, everybody had pretty bad lap times. Like, even the pole speed was only 6/10 faster than my lap time, which was pretty atrocious compared to what we've been running all weekend. So it's just kind of the best of the worst in terms of lap times, and I was 11th best of the bad lap time. So plenty of stuff to do for the pre-final and final to move forward. Should be a lot of action. I like where I'm at, though, all things considered, being 11th. Got some people I can work with behind me, a couple people I think I can hopefully make moves on that are in front of me. Want to get up to, you know, that 6-5 spot in the 6-lap pre-final, and then head into the final, which could be in rain. And I feel pretty good in rain, better than most of these guys. I won't ever say that I'm the best of the field in the rain, but I've got a little bit more experience, at least, than a lot of these guys. So hopefully that pays off if it does wind up raining, which honestly could be kind of fun. Being back in 11th, it may shake things up, so should be action-packed. Always on her phone.
I'm ordering you a leather jacket, thanks.
Yeah, she's giving me a leather jacket. Because I'm cool like that. I'm going to start greasing my hair.
We're going to try something a little different today with one of the onboard cameras. Typically, we mount it up here. But with this driver panel, you can't see the feet. So, I'm going to try moving it down here on Dad's. Dad's our guinea pig. And so, my hope is that you can at least see the top of his feet as he's working the pedals. And if that works out well, if you guys like that view better, comment below, let us know, and we'll shift the other two to that position. Hey guys, Kacy here, and just to tell you what a letdown this angle was. So my apologies, I should have tested before Dad's race, but here we are, and well, on to Dad's race.
Here we are in a pre-final, KRA number 10, starting 16th. Interesting day out there. Got an early start. Anytime you got the pre-final, it throws a little bit of a wrench into it. Didn't have a real good qualifying run. Running a fast track and a short track, and just wasn't quite on for qualifications like I'd like to have been. And you can see here a clean start, but not a great start for me. And Mike took a spin back there as it looked like he was looking to follow Joe through. Following Brian Moore here, and just the one thing I'd like to point out is Brian's kind of an inspiration. He tore his Achilles and was out last year, and he came back this year, and just throughout the season just kept getting stronger and stronger as it went along. It really kind of motivates me to get back out there and go back next season and see if I can't figure things out like he obviously did this year. Coming off the scoreboard here, fortunately I get a good run on him, and am able to go on the inside, and going to be able to make it stick here. I am not going to have anything for those in front of me, though. It was just one of those days. Moved up a little bit. There'd been some wrecks and other things, but just on pure speed, I wasn't bad. I wasn't far off the pace, but still, you know, you can just see pulling in here, and I think that's Brent, and I didn't have enough to get by him here coming down that straightaway. I knew I'd been hitting the limiter pretty early on with the gearing, and finished 12th, so moved up 4, wasn't all bad. Head to the finals.
Man, been a while since I've been in one of these. Yeah, so this is a race from quite a while ago. This vlog's pretty old, but we need content obviously in the off season, so we've got around to this one. Started 11th here in the pre-final. I do like this start a lot. So this is the old start-finish line. They're not doing the newer start-finish that they normally do. Occasionally they'll put it back to the old one, so it's not going into this first turn. We're actually a lot slower because this, what is normally turn 1, is actually the final turn, and then we are approaching turn 1 now. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the flagman waving the flag. Really nice slow start. Good job here. You'll see the 246 gets hooked on a little bit to the 30. So I try to make my move and like, all right, I bet I'm going to follow the 246 there. But it's a drag race here, and you'll see the 30 breaks, and then the 5 kind of stays on him there. Yep, just send him around, and I kind of could see that coming. I was just boned, so I just went the long way around. You can see a cart kind of coming back from up front there too. That's Josh. And as I'm coming on track here, I don't think Josh fully knew I was there. It was a little bit of a sketchier maneuver than it should have been. I wasn't fully aware. I was just like, oh, I'm going to come back on track. But luckily Josh saw me, got behind me. I'm actually pointing, I'm telling Kacy, I was like, number 5. That's why I'm in the predicament I am. And then Josh, yeah, I touched my bumper. So I was like, Josh, let's just, push up there. We're both pretty quick guys. So we wind up, just kind of cruising. There wasn't a whole lot to do. It was a pre-final, so it was like 5 or 6 laps. It was pretty short. And then, so we're pushing the entire time. Josh, you can see here, just does exactly what anybody would do. Pushes me for the entirety of the race. And then on the last, the straight here, he goes by. I'm not really looking to go too hard on this pre-final. So I concede it to him. I couldn't have done anything anyways, right? That would have been blocking. But so finished 19th in the pre-final, heading to the final, where there will be a little rain.
Okay, starting first. I don't say that very often, but it makes me happy when I do. I opted to start on the outside because the start-finish line is not where it normally is on this long straight. It's actually in between what is normally turns 1 and 2 up here. So I felt like the outside would get a better run and have the best chance to actually lead it. So Jacob's starting next to me because Matthew ended up missing the call for the race. So here we go, taking the green flag. Nice clean start, and here's that advantage, being on the inside there on that corner and able to jump into the lead. Tell Jake, hey, let's work together, try to just push forward a little bit. And that's what we do for a few laps. In this pre-final, it's pretty short, and I want to say it was like 5 laps, maybe 6 laps, so pretty short. Here, coming down the main straightaway, they had a run, and 2 karts are always faster than 1, so there they go. And then Josh comes up, and I have to draw the line somewhere, so I had to fight Josh a little bit, and he fell back in behind me, and then we fall back in line here. I'm running 3rd, and I'm pretty happy about things. I mean, it's a pre-final. I'm not looking to get too crazy here, so this spot, running in 3rd, I'm okay with. Here's the last lap, still sitting in 3rd right behind Ryan, and I am good with this, right? And I'm going to make a move up here that contradicts that, but I was good to sit in 3rd, right? So I'm thinking I'll sit behind Ryan. I got a big bump right there from Josh. I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to go with me. So I made a quick move to the inside and got absolutely hosed. Josh he gave me the bump up to the inside and then played the smart game, went wide to see how it all shook out, and he was able to make up the spot, and I ended up falling back to 5th, and that's where I finish. I was a lot happier in 3rd than I was with 5th, but still, I was okay. Top 5, I can work with it.
There's our weatherman. Only slightly wrong. But he did save a bike that he left out in the rain. Yeah, so big downpour. We're still, man, I think at least like 6, 7 races away from our race. And they're getting ready to start racing. Wow. So they're getting ready to start racing again. And we're prepping now. My last update, it was raining, pouring, and just in a matter of, I don't know, 20, maybe 30 minutes. Sun, blue skies. That's what I wanted. But, that doesn't really matter. So there's still a chance of stuff popping up after this, but very much in limbo on what we're gonna do. So what I've got is I've got rain engine, I've got all wheels off, I've got a bigger or a gear for a different ratio because I'll change my drive sprocket to give me basically I'm going to go for a much higher ratio, and front bar, soft front bar. I've got long rear hubs, and basically I've got what I can have quickly ready to make a switch. If more rain comes in here soon, I think that solidifies that it would be a wet race. But if it stays dry, like if the sun stays out, it's going to be a dry race 100%. So I don't want to make the changes yet. There's still 6 races to go before mine, so a lot of time. So just kind of in limbo, hanging out, waiting to see what old Mother Nature's going to throw at us.
So now the finals are interesting. Notice the track here. You can see it's a little darker, and we head to the front turn, and not only does the track get lighter, but the sun comes out. As we were prepping to go out, we actually took 2 or 3 extra warm-up laps, and they had told us that even though the front looks dry from the previous race, that the back is very wet. And so we're heading in here, and we all knew it by now. We'd been back there. So I want you to watch the sportsmanship, smarts and guile here. Joe puts his hand up, Jeff in front of him. Everybody, just the old guys decided that they wouldn't race into that turn there, and use their wisdom and start racing here when it gets dry. And so it first couple of laps, it was race on half the track and follow each other on the other half. But we get racy as the race goes on. Joe looking to go outside, but you can just notice it was straight across half the track, and you can notice here it starts to get dark again, heading down into a fairly high-speed turn at the 70 hairpin. And at this point in the race, it was a little bit slick. You were looking for dry areas, but I'll tell you, looking back at the race, I really wish that I'd have pushed it just a little bit harder, a little bit quicker, because I think I had good grip. There'd been a little bit of a tussle, and I had benefited from that. And coming down the straightaway here, Brent and Amber, I know Amber had been involved in, and I think had gotten off track, and so they get by me, and able to give Amber a little push down the straightaway, which is always fun because Amber's usually about 20 positions in front of me. But you can see one of my problems here is I just don't follow in as close as I could have. I had plenty in the cart. Here I kind of lose a little bit. Cart flips out a little to the right there, but still plenty fast, and it just not good driving. Here's the other one that went off track, Steve. Let him by. And from there on, you can see that it's still a little bit wet down here, but I felt just as confident as anybody in going into those parts of the track, but just not enough time to make up space. I can see Jeff in front of me, maybe pulling in just a little bit, but not going to have enough here as we head down and take the checkered flag. I think I started where I finished, so finished 12th after starting 12th, and really ran pretty good. But it was one of those fun races because never really seen a line of moisture go across the front half of the track versus the back half of the track. So it was interesting and fun. We'll hopefully do that again sometime. So after finishing 5th in the pre-final, here I am starting 5th in the final, right behind Josh and next to Drake. You're going to see the inside line doesn't get a great start here, and I end up losing 2 spots right here, so I fall into 7th now, and you'll see a few raindrops here on the lens, and that is just builds throughout the race. More and more raindrops. So here I am following AJ, and AJ here, again, I'm sorry AJ, this is all my fault. I got under the curb and it kicked out my back end, and I'm counter steering, and unfortunately AJ was my bumper, and I knocked him off track. Truthfully, I fully expected to get a penalty for that, but I didn't. But yeah, that was me. Sorry about that, AJ. So there was a kerfluffle between a couple of carts, and Evan here, I'm coming up on Evan, and you can see the raindrops have started to build a little bit more. And so Evan, quick dude, and you can see the pack in front up there. That's the leaders. So now I'm sitting in 5th now, and so my goal
is like, I'm just wanting to push Evan, right? I just want to push Evan, try to get up closer to those front three. But he just gets a little loose on exit there. With him getting loose, my natural exit just kind of propelled me in front of him. So I ended up moving up into fourth. And here you can see the raindrops have started to build even more. And it's really going to show up here in the scoreboard hairpin. So you can see they're starting to hit now. And that turn, all of a sudden, there was no grip. Totally surprised me. It was way less grippy. So I got squirrely. Blaine was able to go by me there, which, by the way, Blaine did an awesome job working with me the whole race. And he had the same problem down there in that corner. So I passed him back. And I am sitting in fourth again. And actually, I think at this point, I'm now in third. I think someone up ahead got taken out. And so coming up into this corner and just trying to tiptoe through, because we're on slick tires. And so slick tires and rain, it's always fun, but man, it's a challenge. So right there, you see me get crossed up a little bit. This is the white flag. I'm sitting third. And the track is super slick. And you're going to see here, I kind of get crossed up a little bit. Evan has a run. Unfortunately, it's very slick there on the low line with rain. He ends up looping it. Just barely clipped me, but knocked me around. Here I tried to get it started, but I'm like, wait a minute. This is wet grass. I won't be able to go, so I have to push it up even further. And I had to wait at that point then for cards. So that put me back in 11th. And, I don't hold anything against Evan. It was a tough track condition, and it was an easy mistake to make. Things happen.
There's 5 laps to go.
Please, let me give me freedom of the rear. Give me freedom of the rear, please. Just for a minute. Freedom.
Camera, it started raining. It started raining in my race. It was wild.
They made it. 2 laps left to go in the previous race, and they were able to fix who knows what. Well, apparently it's just me. I have no idea what they did, but they did a lot of things to Ben's kart and were able to get it how he wanted it for the race.
All right, so here we are. A lot of people didn't run in this race, so you can see I got moved up to 11 out of, I think Kacy has his 13. So I think there's one person, maybe a complete row behind Josh and I there. My whole game plan here was just to try to get as many spots as possible in the beginning. So in the rain, you want to stay generally on the high side. That's like the faster line. You'll notice I actually go to the low side because I'm trying to make up a few spots. Good note right here, the 21 was on slicks. He was the only person on slicks. Everybody else was on wets. But you can see here I'm already kind of trying to take a peek a little bit lower to see how the grip is. I had done some testing just in the out lap to try to get something. The 30 here I think actually waves me on. Yeah, he's like, you can just go. And I think a lot of these guys hadn't raced in the rain before. We'd been lucky enough to not have too many club races in the past few years that have been in the rain. Last time I had been in the rain, I remember I think I won that race. And I don't think it's rained too many times since then. The 20 there, you can see I'm on the outside, but it was still a little slick. He was on the inside. I think he would have come up into me, so I just got on the brake. And that caused me to be very dramatic. I'll own up to it. The 20 did nothing wrong here. I get up alongside him. I've got a super high gear on, and I'm like trying to come on, because I was worried I was going to get come up into again here. Again, first lap in the rain, a slight contact, but I was like, come on, bro. I knew I was going to be a little bit quicker than some of the guys who just haven't been in the rain yet before, so I was just trying to not lose this pack, right? Definitely dramatic of me though. And then here, you see me get off a little bit. Just made a mistake. You gotta hit your marks in the rain. Tried going a little bit lower than I probably should have, and I paid for it. But I catch back up to them again. I was feeling pretty good, especially early in the race when the track was really wet. I felt really strong compared to the other guys out here. But you can see kind of a 3 wide thing there in the hairpin. Logan to my left in the 53, Eli in front of him in the 118, pushing, trying to get by. We've got a little line here, right? Inside, outside. The outside generally wins. in the rain. I got a nice little run here. Unfortunately, I had to give a bump there, and so he took all my momentum, uses it, check that, wastes it, falls back, and I get another spot. So you can see I'm on the 939 here. Eli, the 118, goes to my inside, but the outside in the rain is just a little bit better. Hats off to Eli here. He wanted to go for it, but I do appreciate him kind of backing up there, because he probably would have gotten into me, because the track was still wet enough to where he would have slid up into me. So now I'm back behind the 939 here. Unfortunately, the camera is actually going to die in this race, but you'll see the last thing that happens here is I actually get by the 939. The track was drying up more and more every lap, and so my gear, which was super high, was getting worse and worse. I get by him here, but his gear was so low that these last few laps he really ate me alive on the straight. So we pulled away from the pack a little bit, me and him, but he actually got me on the last lap on the last straight just because he had such a better gear than me. But I'll take 5th for the first time back in a kart in a while, and in the rain, first time in a while. It was a lot of fun. Hats off to the guys in the field. So 5th place, I'll take it.
It's helmet ceremony time. Time to put stickers on based on how the family thinks I did. Also, I just took off Ben's camera for his onboard, and it is pretty well covered. So we'll have to see how good the footage actually is. But all right, who's first up?
Me.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going middle of the road. Sorry.
We do not allow that.
I'm sorry, but I am. That's what
twice.
the mom gets to do. So I got to bear with the fish in its mouth, because sometimes you're the predator and sometimes you're the prey. You were on pole, you were doing great, but sometimes things out of your control happen and you end up in somebody else's mouth or crosshairs.
So I started off as the bear and I ended up the fish.
You did. Yes, I'm sorry. Darn it.
Well, Case, I had a similar thing. I went with the bear because I thought you were very good during qualifying, and then it got icy. A little slick. Did all right.
Till I didn't.
Till you did.
Oh, that went on the good side.
Yeah, you put that on the good side.
Okay, and then me. I've been thinking about this a lot. We're going with a turtle because I've used it for a lot of reasons, but this one's because it was wet. And that's why you're getting a turtle.
I don't get
I
it.
don't get it.
Turtles swim.
Well, sea turtles. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Turtles are
Yeah. All right.
Aquatic.
exactly.
I mean, there's box
aquatic.
turtles
There's
and
a whole lot of fish on that page.
Yeah, but the turtle's
They
kind of
also swim.
my thing,
yeah,
right?
it is.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Anyways, continue.
I will put this on the good side because Kacy, to no fault of his own, finished 11th. He was running pretty mediocre until it rained, then he started running good, and then ultimately got taken out. So he does get a good turtle today.
Good call.
All right.
Nice.
Is that this side? This side
Good
with a
is-
lot of stickers?
Yeah.
the side with
That
the
seems
lot.
weird.
You know what's
Alrighty.
weird is you put more on the good side than the bad side, Ben. There we
Did
have
I say
it.
good turtle?
There we have it, guys. Good side still looking all right, but I mean, final thoughts on the weekend here. It was a lot of fun, right? A lot of fun. There just felt like there was so much potential this weekend that just wasn't realized. So that's always frustrating. And that's not just from me, that's from everyone, right? I mean, Ben had a bad pre-final. What could have been there? Dad, like always, found a second in the finals. If he could have found that earlier, what could have been? And then me, you know, stupid move in the pre-final and just slick track. Things happen in the final. So all in all, I mean, it was still good. I'm happy with this weekend, and I think it was a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't, you guys know what to do. Go down, hit that subscribe button. Sorry, hit the bell. Like, and what else, Ben?
He has no idea what he's doing, guys. It's like, share, and subscribe. Alright, so Ryan Gensheimer, if you know him, I've raced with him in the Margay stuff, that video. And then he's Kacy's competition right now for the championship, or biggest competition. They came into the weekend like separated by like 2 points, and depending on how you look at it with what drops and stuff, but basically they're like dead heat. And it's KRA 10, so that means we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 4 left after this. Ryan won, Kacy finished 11th. Remember, Kacy was running 3rd, Ryan was in 1st on that last lap. Kacy gets taken off, bumped back to 11th. Ryan finishes 1st, but he was penalized like 9 spots, right? Because earlier in the race, as the rain was coming down, I think he and another guy just kind of bumped. You know, the rain was coming down like they didn't expect it, so they called it a penalty because I think the other guy got off. Well, I was talking to Ryan's family, as they pulled out here, and Ryan said they got it overturned. So Kacy's championship points now are, it's not dire, but he needs to outpace Ryan over the last 4 races. It'll be interesting. Here at Newcastle, you get 3 drops. You just get to drop 3, so you're 3 worst. If you miss a weekend, whatever, you just get 3 drops. Kacy and Ryan, the distance just got separated into Ryan's favor now, so we'll have to see how that shakes out the rest of the season. If Kacy can buckle down and do it or not. I know he's been a runner-up at least once, maybe multiple times in the sportsman class, so I don't know, we'll see. Getting the boys together to do sign-off because I got a surprise for y'all on this sign-off. It's not really a surprise, don't get too excited, but you'll probably hate it, honestly. I shouldn't have brought it up. KRA 10, I think it was, in the books. We were throwing everything, man. Dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. Like in the middle of the race, it would just go from dry to wet, and then in the middle of my race, it dried up. So literally throwing everything there is to be thrown this weekend, I think. Ultimately did really good. Dad had a scorcher of a lap. I mean, I think it might have been faster than my lap in my pre-final. Kacy was up in 3rd, clawed his way up to 3rd just to get taken out, and then I had, you know, a mediocre 5th. Could have been more there. That's why I say mediocre. But a lot of fun this weekend. We'll be back here in a week, and then we've actually got a night race coming up, so it should be a couple fun events coming up. But I promise you guys we're gonna do something new. I think the like, share, and subscribe thing has run its course, because the whole thing was to get the views, to get the numbers, to get the subscribers, all that stuff, right? Like, share, and subscribe. We've done that. Now I think it's click those ads, because now that we have the base, we want you guys to click the ads, watch the ads, you know, all that stuff, because every time you do that, we get like 1/3 of a cent. So you got to think over time that really adds up. So if you guys want to see, you know, us do well and buy that new set of tires, then hey, I need you to click those ads, guys. So click those ads.
It's gotta be against YouTube policy.
All right, anybody else want to say something?
See ya. Yeah.
Click those ads.
Our channel will be offline soon.